Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards. Today I'm doing my 13th episode of my hockey case build. This is the 14th card that I'm going to show today. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Here's Gordie Howe, Rocket Richard, Tim Horton, Frank Mahovlich, Dickie Moore, Milt Schmidt. Second row we have Doug Harvey, Bobby Hall, Jean Rattel, Ted Lindsay, Lauren Gump Worsley, Alan Stanley, and then here we got Red Kelly, and in today's episode is the great Jean Beliveau, and this is one that I was really excited to add. I've been looking for this card for a while. I picked it up a couple months ago. Not a real common card to see. What I did here, just to kind of show everybody, I don't do fancy graphics, but I put together this little slide here to show you the rarity of the Beliveau card in comparison with some of the other 55 cards issued that year in baseball for Topps, Bowman, and football. In the baseball set, it had 206 cards in the set, 175,000 graded cards, 852 per card. And then you can see what it is for Bowman baseball: 90,277, 282 a card, 36,604, 228 a card for football. And then for hockey, 7,476, and there's only 79 cards in the set, but that's less than 100 of each card. And with the Beliveau, there's 200 graded, but only 49 in a grade 6. Compare that to similar cards like the Ernie Banks. There's over 3,000, 609 are in grade 6. And then the Ernie Banks and Bowman, 1,105 with 202 in a grade 6. And then there's the Landry for football, 634, 46 in a grade 6. So you can see this is not a super common card. Not extremely rare, but not a super common card. But I like this one. His rookie's untouchable for my budget and the grade I want it. But this 55 Parkhurst is really my favorite card of his because he's got the white jersey on with the great white background and nice bold red on the bottom with the yellow lettering. It's just a really sharp card. And then on the back you can see the red lettering here. They did have a Quaker Oats 55 Parkhurst that you could get in the cereal boxes that were available in Canada, and they would have green lettering on the back. And some of those could be rarer than the regular Parkhurst issues. Not sure if that's the case with the Beliveau, but it would tell you on the flip here on the top if it was a Quaker, it would say that. So this is the regular Parkhurst from that year. But this is just a wonderful example of this card. I was so pleased to have it because they don't come up for auction that often. So it was nice to get this one to add to the case. You know, he certainly was going to be in my case. He's one of the top 10 or 12 best players to ever lace the skates. And Beliveau, just to talk a little bit about him, he certainly was an outstanding player and leader, and he really helped propel the Montreal Canadiens to the most legendary franchise in all of hockey. He played 20 seasons, and he won 10 Stanley Cups in those 20 seasons. He's second only to the Pocket Rocket Henri Richard, and he's tied with Yvon Cournoyer at 10. And they were both teammates, and he was also teammates with Richard as well. So Beliveau was just a winner, and he was a classy person. He was really quite large in size for a hockey player at that time. He was about 6'3", 6'4", and he was just so graceful. Now, if you're comparing him to a baseball player, because I know some of you guys who watch this aren't really hockey guys, and I do appreciate you watching, but he was a lot like Joe Dimaggio in that there was just such an ease in his playing style. He was very elegant. He had a really regal, stately air about him, which I thought was really interesting when you watch video on him. And he was such an outstanding skater. He would skate real tall, and you could just see him slicing through that ice. But really where he differs from Dimaggio is that he was beloved by his teammates, Beliveau was. And Dimaggio was respected, but he wasn't beloved by his teammates. Dimaggio really had a reputation for being arrogant. He could be petty. You know, he wanted to be introduced as the greatest living player. And he could be aloof, where Beliveau was none of those things. He was a warm, kind, caring type person, a genuine person. And he just had such, again, a regalness about him. And I watched a video on Beliveau where they were talking about him in a documentary. And they said that he first refused to sign with the Canadiens, and he was the best junior in the world. Instead, he played as a senior his hockey in the minor leagues with the Quebec Aces, and he felt he owed the fans of Quebec City as he was considered the most popular person in the city at the time. And this probably cost him statistically. I know he made some good money to play with him, so I don't know how much it cost him financially. But the Canadiens ended up buying the Quebec Aces and inherited the rights to Jean Beliveau, and then ended up bringing him to the big club, where he just stayed there for the next 20 years and became a legend in hockey while he was there. And in 1956, he won the Hart Trophy as the MVP, and he helped lead the Canadiens to 5 straight Stanley Cups, which is still an NHL record. And what's really interesting, this guy was so loved that Brad Park, there's a picture of Brad Park, when he came up in the league, he checked Beliveau really hard, and Park's mom was so mad at him for doing that she didn't talk to him for weeks, because John Beliveau was her favorite player. She was just really upset with him that he would hit him that way. And I just want to close with a story that I read about George Gillette. He shared it about Jean Beliveau after he passed away in 2014. Mr. Gillette could barely keep himself composed in this interview without crying. He said that Beliveau was one of the 2 people in his life with such dignity and class. Not once did he ever hear him talk about his own successes or the brilliance of his career. If you asked him questions, he would answer them, but he never volunteered. He was the most humble, magnificent man. Thank you for joining me, and we'll talk again soon.